Have you ever caught yourself thinking that life seems to be going according to plan, but it has no flavor? Everything seems fine. You have a job, a family, but somewhere inside, there's an emptiness, as if you've forgotten what it means to truly feel joy. Carl Jung called this loss of connection with the self. We grow up, become responsible, but lose something important. The part of us that could laugh for no reason. The one who believed in miracles. That is your inner child, and it hasn't disappeared. It's just hiding in the shadows because once someone told it, stop acting like a child. But that very part of you holds the secret to real life. We are born open to the world. Remember your childhood? Laughter, loud and without reason. Tears, honest and immediate. Wonder at simple things like butterflies, puddles, soap bubbles. That is your inner child, the truest, most unfiltered part of you. Carl Jung called it an archetype, an ancient image in our psyche responsible for spontaneity, creativity, and the ability to marvel. In his writings, he said, "In every adult, there lurks a child who wants to play." But then what happens? Life starts teaching us proper behavior. Don't cry, don't shout, be polite. Slowly, our inner child realizes its real feelings aren't welcome. And so it does what any hurt child would do. It retreats to its room. In psychology, this is called a retreat into the shadow. You probably recognize this feeling. When everything seems fine, but inside, there's a void. When you want to feel joy, but it feels inappropriate. When your dreams seem like childish nonsense. But here's what matters. Your inner child hasn't disappeared. It's just waiting for you to finally turn toward it. As Jung wrote, what is denied in the self does not vanish. It becomes an invisible enemy. The good news, that child is your strongest part. It knows what truly makes you happy. And now, we'll learn how to welcome it back into your life. Think back to childhood. You've just fallen down. It hurts, and you want to cry. But instead of hearing, "I'm here with you," you're told, "Don't cry, you're a big kid now." Or "Stop making faces." Or the worst, "Can anyone ever be mad at you?" We've all been through this. Raised in a way where anger was bad, joy was too loud, sadness was inappropriate. Carl Jung called this process alienation from one's own nature. In his clinical work, he observed that seemingly successful adults often suffered from an unexplained melancholy. And almost always, he found the root. Somewhere in the past, they were given the message, "You must be someone else to be loved." Here's how it works. 1. A child gets angry, is shamed, concludes, anger is not allowed. 2. A child cries, is ignored, learns, my tears don't matter. 3. A child rejoices, is scolded, understands, I must tone it down. And then something tragic happens. We begin to kill off parts of our soul. Jung warned, nothing has a stronger influence psychologically on their environment, and especially on their children, than the unlived life of the parent. But here's the paradox. The more proper we become, the less we feel, the more exhausted we are, the deeper the longing for something, we can't even name it. That longing is the voice of your inner child. It hasn't vanished. It's locked in that room where you hid everything you once labeled wrong. But there's good news too. Jung discovered, what we reject in ourselves does not die. It waits for a chance to return. And now we'll find out how to give it that chance. How do you know your inner child is in exile? Here are the warning signs Jung called cries of the soul. You wake up in the morning and feel nothing. The sun shines, but doesn't warm. Music plays, but doesn't move you. You've learned how to live correctly, but forgotten how to live fully. Look at these symptoms. 1. Joy has become complicated. You need expensive hobbies, exotic travel, big achievements, just to feel something. But childlike wonder, the first snow or the smell of coffee, no longer accessible. 2. The world has lost its color, as if you're looking at life through a dirty window. Jung called this impoverishment of the psyche, when emotions flatten like black and white film. 3. Play seems foolish. Adults don't play, you were told, and now you can't just draw without purpose, sing for no reason, be silly without alcohol. 4. Emotional roller coasters. Sudden tears during a movie. Unexplained rage over a small thing. You're not going crazy. That's your inner child banging on the closed door. Jung wrote, "Repressed emotions do not die. They are silenced, and now they speak through symptoms." But here's the key. These symptoms are actually letters. Letters from the part of you that remembers laughing until you cried, knows what it means to live without masks, is waiting for your permission to breathe freely again. Your inner child doesn't want to return to childhood. It wants just one thing, for you to finally admit, yes, it exists. Yes, it has the right to be here. Yes, it can come out of the shadows. And once that happens, Carl Jung revolutionized psychology when he said, "The shadow is not an enemy. It's simply the part of us we once rejected." And more often than not, what we lock away in that dark room of the psyche are childhood experiences, vulnerability, spontaneity, and the ability to dream. Jung wrote, "The shadow is everything the person refuses to acknowledge about themselves." But here's the paradox. As long as we deny the shadow, we lose access to our own life force. Imagine turning off a part of your soul, like flipping off a light switch. But the energy doesn't stop. It just goes into keeping that door to the shadow tightly shut. So what did Jung propose? Not a battle, not fixing ourselves, but a brave step, integration. Here's how it works. 1. Awareness. Notice the moments when you're irritated by someone's spontaneity. That's your own repressed impulsiveness. You judge someone's dreaming. Those are your forgotten fantasies. You're ashamed of your childish desires. 2. Acceptance. Jung insisted, it is better to be whole than to be good. Allow yourself to feel sad for no reason. Rejoice like a child. 1. The unusual. 3. Dialogue. Imagine the child you once were. What would you say to them today? I see you. You have the right to exist. And then comes the miracle of integration. The energy you used to suppress suddenly becomes available. Jung described it like this. When we accept our shadow, it ceases to be a dark basement and becomes a source of vitality. Your unexpected breakthroughs, forgotten creativity reawakens. The ability to play returns. Life regains its flavor. Emotions become tangible again, as if a light is switched on inside you. And suddenly you realize, this isn't a new you. This is the real you. The one you left in the shadows can now finally step into the light. And the most amazing thing, it's only just beginning. You're ready for the most important journey. The journey home, to yourself. Jung claimed, meeting yourself is meeting the other. And now we'll take 5 practical steps to finally hear the voice that has waited so long for this moment. Step 1. Remember. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Ask yourself 2 simple questions. 1. What made me laugh when I was 7? Maybe sliding down a hill. Finger painting. 2. What do I now consider too childish? Blowing bubbles? Enjoying cartoons? Write the answers down. Jung called this the archaeology of the soul. We're unearthing what was buried under layers of adulthood. Step 2. Dialogue. Take 2 sheets of paper. On the first, write, "Dear little," your name. Ask, what did you love doing the most? When were you hurt the most? What do you want to tell me now? Then switch hands. Write the reply as if you were 7. Don't think, just let the words flow. Jung found this method bypasses the censor, our adult critical mind. Step 3. Play without rules. Dedicate 20 minutes a day to drawing with your non-dominant hand, sculpting with clay, dancing to your favorite childhood music. Important. Do this with no goal. Jung emphasized, in play, the child, and thus the adult, becomes themselves. Don't judge the result. The process matters more. Step 4. Protection. Now, you're the adult for your inner child. When you feel ashamed of your desires, you think you're not serious enough, you're overwhelmed with emotions, place your hand on your heart and say, I'm here. You're safe. You have the right to feel this. Jung called this the parental function of the psyche, the ability to give ourselves what we never received. Step 5. Slowing down. Children live in the eternal now. Try this. 1. In the morning, spend 3 minutes just looking out the window. 2. During the day, savor your food like it's the first time. 3. In the evening, sit on the floor like you used to. Jung wrote, a hurried mind is blind to miracles. When you slow down, your inner child knows it's finally being seen. What will you feel? At first, it may seem strange, then liberating. And one day, you'll catch yourself laughing genuinely, not politely, coming up with creative solutions with ease, feeling warmth in your chest for no reason. That's them, your inner child, saying, thank you for finally hearing me. And remember Jung's words. The most important things in life happen not when we plan them, but when we allow ourselves to be. Ready to take the first step? Then take a deep breath and begin right now. Take a piece of paper. Write, hello, little one. Your inner child isn't a relic of the past. It's the most alive part of your soul. As long as it remains in the shadows, you exist, but you don't truly live. As if you're looking at the world through thick glass. You see everything, but feel nothing. But when you dare to reach out your hand, a miracle of transformation begins. Suddenly, morning coffee smells magical again. Rain on your cheek brings a smile. An old song revives forgotten emotions. Carl Jung called this the process of individuation, when we gather all our lost pieces into a whole. He wrote, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. Your shadow, once feared, turns out to be a treasure trove. It holds the capacity to marvel, the courage to dream, the strength of real emotions. And now you understand, wholeness doesn't mean perfection. It means embracing all sides of yourself. Yes, at times you'll be vulnerable like a child, but that very vulnerability will become your superpower. Jung left us this wisdom. Light needs darkness to shine in all its brilliance. Your inner child is no longer knocking on a closed door. They're walking beside you, and together you discover a life gains dimension. Decisions become more creative. Relationships grow more authentic. Because finally, after all these years, you come home to yourself, just as you are. And this is only the beginning. If this story resonated with you, maybe it will help someone else too. Share this video. Somewhere right now, someone feels that same emptiness, and your recommendation might be their first step back to themselves. Subscribe. We'll continue exploring Jung's philosophy together. Thank you for allowing this encounter. Until next time.